It was supposed to be a backpacking adventure of a lifetime. 5 college friends, Sarah, Mark, Emily, Jake, and Chris, embarked on a journey across Europe. Their budget was tight, so they opted for hostels over fancy hotels. It was all fun and excitement until they received an invitation to stay at an obscure hostel in the heart of Prague. The invitation came from a mysterious sender named Elysium Hostel. Intrigued, they decided to accept the invitation, unaware of the horrors awaiting them. As the group arrived at Elysium Hostel, they were struck by its eerie ambience. The building loomed over them with its decaying facade, casting shadows that seemed to dance in the dim light. Despite their initial unease, they were greeted warmly by the hostel's owner, a peculiar man named Victor. He had a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes, and his voice held a hint of something sinister beneath its polite tone. That night, as the friends settled into their assigned rooms, strange occurrences began to unfold. Sarah woke up to the sound of whispers echoing through the hallway, but when she opened the door, there was nobody there. Mark felt a cold breeze sweep through his room, chilling him to the bone despite the warm summer night. Emily swore she saw shadows moving in the corners of her room, disappearing when she tried to focus on them. The next morning, Chris was nowhere to be found. Panic spread among the group as they searched every corner of the hostel, but there was no sign of him. Victor assured them that Chris must have wandered off during the night, but his reassurances fell on deaf ears. Something wasn't right, and the group knew they had to find their friend before it was too late. Determined to uncover the truth, the friends began to explore the hostel's hidden secrets. They discovered hidden passageways leading to a labyrinth of tunnels beneath the building. In those tunnels, they found rooms shrouded in darkness, filled with ancient artifacts and macabre decorations. Each room seemed to tell a story of its own, a story of pain and suffering that sent shivers down their spines. As they delved deeper into the maze of tunnels, they stumbled upon a chamber unlike any they had seen before. At its center lay a stone altar, adorned with symbols they couldn't decipher. Around the altar, candles flickered ominously, casting eerie shadows on the walls. It was then that they realized they were not alone. Figures dressed in black robes emerged from the darkness, their faces obscured by hooded masks. And at the center of it all stood Victor, his smile now twisted into a malevolent grin. Before they could react, the friends were seized by the robed figures and dragged towards the altar. They struggled and fought with all their might, but it was futile against the strength of their captors. One by one, they were bound and gagged, helpless to resist as Victor chanted incantations in a language they couldn't comprehend. And then, in a moment of sheer horror, they watched as Chris was placed upon the altar, a sacrificial lamb to appease whatever dark forces lurked within the depths of Elysium Hostel. With their friend's life hanging in the balance, Sarah, Mark, Emily, and Jake knew they had to act fast. Summoning every ounce of courage they had left, they broke free from their bonds and fought back against their captors. In the chaos that ensued, they managed to grab Chris and make a run for it, racing through the tunnels with Victor and his followers hot on their heels. They emerged into the night, gasping for breath as they fled into the streets of Prague, leaving behind the nightmare of Elysium Hostel. As dawn broke over the city, the friends huddled together in a nearby cafe, shaken but alive. They knew they had narrowly escaped a fate worse than death, but the memories of what they had witnessed would haunt them forever. They made a pact never to speak of their ordeal, to bury it deep within the recesses of their minds where it could never hurt them again. But as they glanced over their shoulders, they couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows of Elysium Hostel still lurked in the corners, waiting to claim them once more. And so, dear reader, heed this warning as you embark on your own adventures across the globe. Beware the allure of cheap accommodations and mysterious invitations, for not all hostels are as they seem. In the darkness of the night, evil lurks, waiting to ensnare unsuspecting travelers in its web of terror. So tread carefully, and may you never find yourself lost in the shadowed halls of Elysium Hostel.